Good morning. Sorry, look a state. Those that have been keeping up to date with Emmy Foggy Dog recently will know that I've personally had a development. I was fitted for hearing aids about 2, 3 weeks ago now, and quite a few people were messaging me privately to say, "Oh, let me know how you get on. Really want to know how you deal with your noise sensitivity, all this kind of stuff." So this is that update. So last year I had a hearing test and I was told my hearing was iffy in one ear. By the time I got rechecked, the hearing had deteriorated a little bit more and it's in both of my ears. So I've now got two hearing aids and I just want to show you cannot see them. So if stigma is something that you're worried about, I realise I've got long hair, but to be honest, I think the hearing aid is literally that long and it tucks around the back of your ear. So that's the stigma out the way. I personally don't feel any stigma with hearing loss. I'd rather be able to hear. So that's my own personal preference. In terms of sensory overload, I think that's the biggest thing that I've noticed because it's fixed my loss of hearing. But I live with my parents who now, due to their age, are also experiencing hearing loss. And it didn't used to be a problem when we all had dodgy hearing, but now my hearing's good. I walk into the living room when the telly's on and I'm like, oh, it's so loud. That's an issue. So I find when I'm sat watching TV with my family, I take my hearing aids out. So if you also live with someone with hearing problems, you have to consider that. Obviously, they've not had theirs checked, but as someone who's now got good hearing, I'm like, no, that TV is far too loud. Anyway, so that's that. So in terms of noise intolerance, yes. I was wondering whether it would impact my sensory overload. It has. So I think I don't put them in all the time. I put them in when I need them because I think the sensory overload 24/7 while I'm awake would be far too much. So I'm having to pick and choose when I put them in. Listening to my own voice is very weird. But yeah, I just thought I'd do an update. It's well worth doing. You realise what you haven't been able to hear for a while. I think I'd lost about 40% of my hearing in my left ear and about 20% in my right. And I can do it all via an app on my phone. And I didn't realise I can listen to Spotify without any headphones. It's great. Which doesn't really please my dad because he spent quite a bit of cash on a nice pair of headphones for me a little while ago. But anyway, I digress. But yeah, well worth doing. Please don't let the stigma of hearing, like, I mean, for goodness sake, we live with plenty of stigma already with ME, so a little bit extra is not. In fact, I'm not exactly keeping it a secret. I tell absolutely everybody I'm stumbling across, I've got a hearing aid in, I can hear what you're saying. It's great. And also, you can dim down background noise. So those of us that are able to go out socially occasionally, I find if I'm in a busy environment, obviously COVID cautious, I sit in a well ventilated area, often with Viralese up my nose and stuff down my throat and all the rest of it, occasionally still with a mask, but obviously if you're out in a restaurant, not possible. Anyway, you can literally turn down the background noise so you can hear the person in front of you. Who knew? I have not been able to hear properly what my friends and family have been saying to me when there is background noise for years. So it's a win-win for me personally. So I just thought I'd do this to say, don't worry, you can take your hearing aids out. You're going to be able to minimize noise sensitivity. But quite a few people had questions. So if you've got any additional questions, let me know and I'll answer them. But I think I've answered the ones that I've already been asked. Anyway, so I'm off to experience wildlife with hearing. Catch you all later.